Hi, I'm Maura McCullough, founder of College Scoops. Our goal at College Scoops is to provide valuable, curated content to help students and parents get a better feel and vibe of a college campus and the surrounding area. Whether you are in high school or at university, College Scoops provides the inside scoops on everything college related, highlighting the best places to eat, stay, and explore on and around campus. We know college visits in particular should and can be fun, offering new insights into the local community and surrounding area each and every time you step foot on campus. We have just launched a virtual college experience series to highlight what our student ambassadors love about their school and to answer several important questions you and your students may have about particular colleges. We hope you find these videos helpful. We had a ton of fun making them. Thank you to all of our student ambassadors and to the entire College Scoops community for pulling these together. Please subscribe to College Scoops and follow us on our social media.
Hi, my name is Jasmine and I am the Stanford Lead Ambassador for College Scoops. We are bringing you a virtual campus experience to answer the many questions that students have as they finalize their college decisions or start their college lists. I am currently a junior, class of 2022 at Stanford University, studying management science and engineering and computer science. Management science and engineering is an interdisciplinary major that mixes economics, business, computer science, public policy, and a few other things, and it's one of Stanford's many very cool interdisciplinary majors. Outside of academics, I'm involved in a lot of things, most notably the art scene on campus. I'm involved in a couple dance organizations, most notably In Style, which is a jazz and contemporary style dance group, and I'm also a Stanford Dolly, which is one of the 5 dancers that dance with the Stanford Band at all on-campus and off-campus events and sports games, and it's a lot of fun. I'm also involved in a variety of pre-professional organizations, so I'm a vice president of consulting in Stanford Pre-Business Association, where we get to work on projects with different clients in industry, just like a real consulting firm, but among students, and it's a lot of fun. And I'm also in Society of Women Engineers. I'm a teaching assistant for an introductory computer science class, and I'm also a Stanford tour guide.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, I'm Jacob. I am from right outside of New Orleans, Louisiana, and I'm studying computer science.
Hi, my name is Krtin. I'm from London and I'm a junior, class of 22, majoring in MS&D, which stands for Management Science and Engineering. A few of the things that I'm involved in on campus are playing for the Stanford men's squash team, one of the top-ranked men's club teams in the country. I'm an active of Phi Kappa Psi, one of the fraternities on campus. And last year I was an equity analyst for the Stanford Blythe Fund, which is a student-run investment fund that actually manages a portion of the university's endowment.
Hi, my name is Jorden, and I am from San Diego. I am a junior majoring in urban studies, and I am involved in a club called Ideas Out Loud, which puts on a TEDx event. I'm also involved in the Native community and a business club on campus.
Hi, my name is Julia. I'm currently a senior undergraduate at Stanford studying psychology and minoring in education and Spanish. I'm originally from Napa, California, and I am the Stanford class of 2021. In terms of what I'm involved in on campus, I'm involved in a variety of things. First and foremost, research. Being a psychology student at Stanford in such a renowned department, I can participate in various professors' projects, and I was a research assistant for my freshman and sophomore year. I would spend time at Bing Nursery School, which is a laboratory preschool on Stanford's campus, in the classroom with the children, recruiting them to do research studies and collecting data. For my junior and senior years, I've been involved in Rob Willer's Polarization and Social Change Lab, which is a sociology lab. Outside of research, I'm a TA in the Stanford Psychology 1 program. And finally, for my junior year at Stanford, I was involved in the Stanford marching band as a Stanford Dolly dancer.
Hi there, my name is Sophia. I'm currently a student at Stanford University. I'm a junior studying product design and computer science. I'm from the Bay Area, and at school I'm involved in the Stanford Women in Design Club, as well as Ballet Folklorico Club and the Bachata Dance Club. I also am the TA for Design Summer, which is a class taught at Stanford, and I work as a UI UX designer and developer at Cardinal Labs, which is Stanford's tech solutions company. Outside of Stanford, I'm currently starting my own startup, and I also work as an AI tutor.
What do you wish you knew when you arrived at freshman orientation?
Before freshman orientation, I really wish I had known that there was no pressure to be declared already. At least at Stanford, it's really great that you have all this extra time with the quarter system to explore new courses and really explore your interests. And you don't need to be declared until well into your sophomore year.
I arrived for freshman orientation. I wish I knew that this was the best opportunity I had to meet new people and to make a wide group of friends. Once classes start and your academic workload starts piling up, it becomes more difficult to meet new people and explore your interests. So take advantage of this time to really get to know one another.
Something I wish I knew when I was a freshman arriving on campus is to really take advantage of all the opportunities you have at your school outside of just academics, such as the clubs, the activity fairs, the networking, the jobs. There's so much that I feel that campus has to offer outside of just academics.
What was the deciding factor in choosing Stanford?
I think there were a lot of deciding factors in me choosing Stanford. Obviously Stanford is an incredible academic institution, and I knew that I wanted to go to a school, if not Stanford, but one like it, that was, very reputable in all of its different departments and would also allow me the opportunity to explore. I think what sold Stanford for me was, one, their kind of celebration of kind of an exploratory nature in their academic scene. So you don't have to declare your major until your sophomore year. You can kind of take almost 2 years to just explore, take classes that interest you, figure out what you actually like in terms of, high-level academics and, potentially a future career. Secondly, something that sold it for me was the collaborative nature of students at Stanford. I feel like Stanford has this reputation that students are really competitive and, everyone's competing for jobs and trying to get good grades in classes, but Stanford is extremely collaborative. Like, I work with students all the time on my homework or studying for tests. I go to office hours all the time to work with other students.
I would say my deciding factor in choosing Stanford was actually finances. Stanford has some great financial aid, and it really made the choice easy for me.
And choosing a college, it was pretty difficult for me. I'd say I'm a very adaptable person. I think I was more concerned with going to a school where when I said the name later in a job interview or listed it on my resume, people would instantly know what it was, where it was, what it was famous for. There's no place like Stanford for that, and that's why I was really lucky when I ended up getting into Stanford.
It did kind of come down to majors and I guess the experience that I wanted on campus. I really like the idea of having a smaller campus where everyone lives on campus and everyone kind of gets to know each other a bit easier than maybe a much bigger campus.
How easy is it to register for classes?
At Stanford, it's pretty easy to register for classes. They don't fill up too fast, and I think a big reason for that is just because there's not that many students on campus. It's also really easy to get in connection with the professor or with the TAs of the classes to talk to them directly to see if you can get a spot.
It is super, super easy to register for classes. All of our introductory classes don't have caps, especially in the STEM department. I know in other schools, it can be really hard to even get into, the introductory computer science class, introductory math or physics or chemistry class, but at Stanford, that is not a problem. Any introductory class you can get into. Once enrollment opens, you can go on and pick all of your classes, and you can do that up until the first day of classes. It's very easy to register for classes, and being that we are such a small school, it's really easy to get into the classes that you want, and if for some reason you aren't able to get into them, it's almost guaranteed that you'll get into it the next time that you try and get into that certain class.
It's really easy to register for classes. We do it through a centralized portal called Access, and most large classes have no application form. Some classes have an application process, so you should do your research on those classes and make sure you apply in good time.
What is the social scene like?
The social scene at Stanford is really awesome. We do have the traditional kind of party scene that's dominated by Greek life that a lot of other schools have, but that doesn't dominate the entirety of the social scene at Stanford. All of the fraternities on campus, I believe they host one all-campus per quarter, which is an event that everyone in the entire school can come to, even freshmen. And then all of the fraternities also host multiple events throughout the week. Most of those events are open to anybody. A lot of freshmen go to those events as well, so there's only a few fraternity events that are closed off to just upperclassmen. We also have a lot of things going on campus and off campus that are, not related to Greek life and still things that are fun to do. We have something at Stanford called Cardinal Nights. It's a bunch of adults that organize really fun events for you to do at Stanford that are basically an alternative to going to parties. So there are a lot of different things to do. Outside of that, people go into the city, into San Francisco, to just hang out. People go into Palo Alto, eat dinner, have fun with your friends.
I think the social scene at Stanford is fine. I mean, I think most schools, especially like a state school, would have a much more vibrant party scene. So I think Stanford might be lacking a little bit in that area. But I do think overall it's a pretty social campus. I think there's always like people out, and that might be just because it's sunny all the time. So people are always kind of outdoors and hanging out, and I really appreciate that. I don't know if I would say it's super exclusive. I think that Stanford does a good job of creating freshman dorm communities. So I think that people do intermingle decently well, although I do think to some extent, maybe with Greek life, there's a bit of exclusivity.
I'd say the social scene at Stanford is pretty unique with all undergraduates living on campus. One of my favorite things about the social scene is that whenever someone asks where you're living and you tell them, they know exactly where that is. They maybe know someone who lives there or has lived there in the past. There's an effort to have all campus parties, which are open to freshmen. Greek life is active on Stanford's campus, but something I do appreciate about Stanford is that it's not the only social outlet. I think clubs and any kind of academic club, extracurricular club, you're going to meet people in that club. There's usually gatherings for those clubs. So even if you're not involved in a Greek organization, you definitely have social outlets depending on what you're involved in.
How difficult is it to find housing?
So you are guaranteed housing for all 4 years, which makes the decision to live on campus very easy. However, the process to actually be given housing is kind of a pain. It's the draw, and then you basically rank every house on campus, and then you're given a number. The person with the lowest number draws first, they get their first choice, and then it goes on and so forth until each house is full.
Finding housing as an undergrad at Stanford is fortunately really easy because it's situated in Palo Alto in the Silicon Valley. It's a really expensive area, so Stanford luckily guarantees your housing for all 4 years of undergrad. For undergrads, there's a strict system in place every year called the draw, and every spring just about you go in and you kind of preference where you'd want to live. Sometimes for certain places you can kind of pre-register or pre-assign depending on the theme of the house or where you want to live in. There's variety between standard dorms, houses of maybe 30 people, there's co-ops, there's Greek housing.
At Stanford, it's not difficult to find housing at all. They actually have guaranteed housing for all 4 years for all students. The exception is it's on a lottery system, so it gets a little tricky to get the exact housing you want. Your freshman dorm, you just get randomly assigned into freshman dorm housing, and it's normally with a bunch of other freshmen. And then after that, you can decide to use 1, 2, or 3. 1 is you'll be in the top 1,000 people. 2 is you'll be in the top 2,000 people, and 3 you'll be in the top 3,000 people of lottery system.
Are students actively involved in clubs, recreational sports, and outside activities?
Almost everyone, if not everyone that I know, is part of some extracurricular club or organization. This is because everyone has such unique, diverse interests, and there's always an organization that caters to those interests.
I would say students are very involved in outside clubs, recreational sports, outside activities. At least that's what I mainly do on campus. There's a lot to get involved with. There's obviously the D1 sports, but they also have intramural sports, club sports, and outside of that, they have theater, dance, arts. I really think there's a place for everyone.
Students are very actively involved in extracurricular opportunities. There's an endless number of clubs at Stanford. There are still clubs that come up that I had never heard of before. Almost every single person is involved in something because there is truly something for everybody. We have pre-professional organizations, research opportunities, jobs both on and off campus, arts organizations, various cultural organizations.
Does Stanford do a good job helping students with internships and research opportunities?
I think Stanford does a pretty good job of making internships pretty accessible, or at least trying to find them. There are departments on campus that specifically help people find, internships or jobs or whatever it might be. They send out emails and stuff like that. I think for the most part, if you kind of know where to look, it's pretty accessible, but I guess it kind of depends.
So I'd say Stanford does a really great job of giving students opportunities to apply for internships, for research opportunities. There are so many resources at your disposal at Stanford. I'd say the Beam Career Center has been a great resource for me, especially now as a senior. Even remotely, you can meet with career counselors who kind of get a taste for your interests, what you're looking for, point you to various resources, and kind of continue checking in with you along the way. You also have your academic advisors who are happy to point out what kind of internships or what kind of job opportunities will be available to someone with your academic interests. For research opportunities too, I find that kind of by department, you'll be walking through your building and there'll be flyers posted all around looking for research assistants, looking for people to help with a certain project.
Specifically as a computer science major, the CS department does a really great job. We have email list where anyone can send out job opportunities, and then they also have the professional resume critiques every quarter, which are nice, and also mock interviews to help with technical interviews.
What tips do you have to succeed academically at Stanford?
Some tips I have to succeed academically at Stanford is to really map out your time. One thing I like to do is do time audits. So I will take the weekend in advance. I plan out everything that I need to get done this week, and I plan out exactly when I'm going to work on it and when. I think it's really easy to get carried away and bite off a little bit more than you can chew. So it really helps getting to time audit and getting to see exactly what you have to do and when to do it.
The best tip that I can give somebody to succeed at Stanford academically is to be honest with yourself, ask questions, and go to office hours. So in high school, I didn't struggle too much with school. I would never go to ask the teacher for additional help. And for me at Stanford, that has not been the case. Most of the time, I don't understand concepts the first time in lecture, and I need to go home, think about it, talk to my friends and get help, go to office hours with the teaching assistants and get additional help, do extra practice, and that's been the way that I've been able to succeed.
Academic success at Stanford is available to everyone. I think for me, the best resource was speaking to my friends and learning from my friends, because there's no doubt that you are really good at some things, but you'll have friends or know people that are better at other things than you are.
Here's how you can get more information like what you have just seen to help you and your student get the inside scoops on college life. We have close to 100 ebooks available at collegescoops.com for purchase. All of our ebooks feature student and parent testimonials on what life is like on campus, living, learning, and working while attending college. We offer students and parents favorite places to eat on and around campus, along with a host of local excursions for you, your student, and family to enjoy during your college experience. With direct links to restaurants, hotels, and excursions, we have made it as easy as possible for you to plan your trip, saving you time, energy, and stress. Whether it is your first time visiting or at graduation, we've got you covered.